Roger Federer sparks Laver Cup ticket chaos. Roger Federer, the 41-year-old professional tennis player from Switzerland and a 310-week world's #1, unapologetically lit the match that caused a wide-blown need to get a Laver Cup ticket. Why and how did he do that? On its own, the Laver Cup was doing great regarding ticket sales. However, Federer's announcement of the last competitive game of his career sped up the purchases, leading to the unavailability of all except tickets that can only be claimed by the ultra-wealthy. Unknown and creating quite the confusion is the number of purchased tickets with actual fans and those wrapped around the fingers of resellers looking to earn above the necessary from desperate buyers. The organizers of the event tried to prevent such an occurrence by restricting the purchase of large numbers of tickets by resellers. They limited the number of tickets requested and only made 6 available to a single customer. Now that this event will be Federer's last competitive game, we can't begin to imagine the extreme desire of fans to obtain a ticket and witness the game. This will ultimately lead to an increase in fake ticket purchases, unreasonably high ticket prices, as well as deceived buyers. The Laver Cup organizers have been getting an earful from fans regarding the method adopted for ticketing. Their Twitter account received its own share of angry comments when the system went down the same week Roger made his announcement. The increased demand by fans for a ticket to witness his last competitive match also led to the hike in its prices. As one of the all-time most successful male tennis players, the purchase of all but the overly expensive tickets was not a bit surprising. Most fans of Federer consider him the master and didn't hesitate to spend their cash just to see him play one more game. On unofficial sites for ticket sales, bank-breaking prices are tagged on these tickets. You'll find a session ticket going for over €1,000 on sites like Viagogo. Seats near the match area are usually slated for over €60,000. Perhaps the unrestricted view will make it worth the price. When Federer announced his retirement, he acknowledged the fact that he had been playing for 24 years and has engaged in over 1,500 matches. He admitted that he never thought he would experience such tender treatment from tennis, and that is only wise if he takes the hint by pushing the red button on his competitive career. Federer clearly stated that he will participate in more tennis matches as time passes, but the London's Laver Cup will be his final ATP event. He will not be in Grand Slams nor on the tour, which is one of the things that made his decision tough, for he won't be able to help but miss his experiences. Nonetheless, he claims he has a lot to be happy about. According to him, he is easily one of the Earth's most fortunate, for he was bestowed with a talent which he nurtured to a level he never dreamt possible, and for a period most deem unimaginable. Will Federer be playing at the Laver Cup? While fans are going gaga about witnessing Federer's last match, there are doubts about the 41-year-old player participating in the event. There are thoughts about him sitting in the lounge and just cheering his team on. While making his retirement public, he mentioned the impact his knee issues had on his decision of quitting his 20 Grand Slam title career. Some weren't all flushed and surprised since he hasn't been in full mode after he lost to Hubert Hurkacz at Wimbledon last year. He had to go through knee surgery, which was his third in 18 months. He underwent 2 in 2020, and that was enough to put over a year's pause in his career. The imperfections in his knee limited his games to just 3 Grand Slams. That was out of 11 played since the start of the year 2020. Federer hoped for a full recovery after his last surgery, but his knees had other plans. Rehabilitation didn't follow the planned path, and he was left with no other choice. Severin Luthi, Federer's longtime coach, admitted that Federer had been diligent with practice and won't be all wrong by looking forward to singles or doubles. However, he can't say with certainty that the match will happen. Severin Luthi told Simon Graf, a Swiss journalist, that the prodigy, yet again, encountered issues with his knee, and the recuperating process hasn't been rosy. His retirement news wasn't a good one for most tennis fans, and many still look forward to a doubles match with Rafael Nadal. Nonetheless, it is his decision, and according to Pierre Paganini, Federer's fitness and conditioning trainer, he will make a resolution at the last moment. He said the player has enough knowledge to help him in his decisions, and will know if participating won't be a bad idea. The on-site reserve for Team Europe is expected to be Matteo Berrettini, the world's number 6 according to the ATP, and the Wimbledon finalist last year. Roger Federer will, however, undoubtedly be present at the event, playing or otherwise. Tributes. Novak Djokovic, a Serbian professional tennis player and a 7-time year-end champion, gave Federer a warm tribute as his well-known rival. Alongside Rafael Nadal, they are known as the greatest male tennis players in history, earning them the nickname the Big Three. Although 6 years younger, Djokovic kept winning Grand Slams while Federer steadily lost his ability to play efficiently. Nonetheless, Djokovic mentioned the amazing matches and moments they had, and how there are things he'll undoubtedly think back on. They indeed engaged in about 17 major matches at the tournaments and faced off in 5 finals. He stated how honored he is to have met him and how he looks forward to the more years they'll share. "It's a sad day for me personally and for sports around the world," said Rafael Nadal, the world's number 3 in singles and Roger's greatest rival. They faced off in about 9 Grand Slam finals but played 40 times in total. Federer's 20 Grand Slam titles gave him the 3rd spot on the list of tennis's top Grand Slam winners of all time, behind Djokovic, who has 21, and Nadal's 22 titles. Federer didn't fail to commend his rivals, for he made it known how lucky he was to have the unforgettable memories and life-changing matches they shared. According to him, they pushed each other and took tennis to new levels. Murray, Djokovic, and Nadal, as Team Europe, will all play at the next event. Since Federer won 8 men's singles Wimbledon titles, they didn't hesitate to pay him an amiable tribute following his announcement. The tournament organizers commented on how privileged they are to have been part of his career and how to witness his rise to greatness in all ramifications. The world's youngest world number 1 singles player, Carlos Alcaraz, also shared his thoughts on Federer's retirement with a broken heart emoji. Sadly, tennis had to let go of 2 prominent names consecutively. For Serena Williams, the American professional tennis player who was the world's number 1 for 319 weeks and a 5 times year-end champion, played her last match at the US Open this month. She welcomed Roger Federer to the retirement club and mentioned how he had been an inspiration to her throughout his 24-year journey. Having won 23 major titles herself, it meant a lot when she declared how much she admired and respected the Swiss player. According to her, their careers followed almost the same paths, and she, along with the millions of people he had inspired, will never forget him. Roger Federer appreciated his wife and their 4 children for their constant support. In his message to fans, he mentioned how thankful he is and how unmeasurable is the strength and belief they gave him. According to him, the inspiring feelings of walking into full stadiums and arenas has been one of the huge thrills in my life. Without his fans, those successes would have felt lonely rather than filled with joy and energy. The last 24 years Roger Federer spent on the tour was evidently an amazing experience. He emphasized how incredible it was when he said, "The adventure sometimes feels like it went by in 24 hours. It has been so deep and magical that it seems as if I've already lived a full lifetime." The Laver Cup is set to begin on the 23rd of September, a Friday, and end on the 25th, spanning 3 days. However, the 22nd of September is set aside for open practice for the event. This will be held in London at the O2 Arena. It is now impossible to buy multi-session tickets for the Laver Cup. However, single-session tickets are available on the official website but are limited. Do you think Roger Federer will shame all odds and definitely play at the event? Let us know what you think of his retirement in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, check out this next one for another intriguing piece.